On.
Good afternoon. This is the International Arbitrage on February the 15th, 2024. Yesterday, of course, was Valentine's Day. And today we're going to talk about trusts and family, for family, in the context of marriage. Now, owner managers who are on their way up, busy making money, you have some money, but you haven't inherited, you probably haven't inherited your wealth or a lot of it, or even if you have inherited some, you're still taking the business to the next level. You're very much involved in the family business and you're working. And so you're busy working, and owner manager families tend to be quite international. They have business interests at home in Colombia, Panama, Argentina, Brazil. They have maybe a home or an office or a company in Miami. And this is, there are many thousands of these types of companies. You're also doing business in the US as well as internationally. And you're making money and you're busy at work. And you of course, you may have children. And so one of your children is on the verge of getting married. And let's say the person that they're getting married to is not necessarily from a wealthy family, is from a normal working family. And, well, when I say normal, I mean just from a working family, because of course the challenge or the problem, if one can describe it as that, is money. Money at the end of the day, wealth, accumulated assets, we have to deal with it in reality. We just have to, because human beings, we are impacted by money and by assets, by wealth. It affects us. It impacts us. Some people say that it exposes who we truly are. And as we've said in other videos, there are and have always been in humanity, there are predators out there. There are criminals out there. People who would actively deceive or take from your family. So let's get down to brass tacks. If your daughter is from your family, a wealthy family, and she's marrying someone that doesn't have money, you're going to worry if that person is being true to your daughter, if that person really wants to marry your daughter because they love her, or is it because they think that they're going to be able to get at her money when one day you depart this earth? Is that what they're thinking? We know that this has happened over time, immemorial. There are plenty of movies on Netflix like about this, where the course is charted. We saw some of this recently in the HBO series Succession, where one of the characters was a daughter and she was married to a guy who wasn't as wealthy as her family, but that was very interesting dynamics there. So these things happen in reality. So what you can do is use a trust to remove some of these incentives for people to be impacted by how much money you have or don't have. And you can also protect your child, your daughter, or your son from any predators who think that by deceiving your children, marrying them, that they're then going to get access to the funds that you, the owner, operator, the principal of the family, has accumulated. By setting up a trust and putting funds in trust and having your children as beneficiaries of that trust, you're protecting them from being subject to that type of deception. Because any deceiver, any criminal will soon realize that the money is in a trust and they are not ever going to be able to get at it. And even marriage means that they can't marry your son or daughter and take half, because at the end of the day, while your children can benefit from what is in the trust, they cannot liquidate the trust, they cannot sell what is in the trust and then take that money, and then their spouse, whoever they may be, won't have access to those funds. So a trust is very good at protecting your children from deceivers and from criminals in the context of marriage, which is a big thing. Now, some wealthy families, some people use prenups. I personally think that in matters of love, of romance, of a coming together, I'm the type of person where I'm not going to criticize people who do prenups, because I can understand that sometimes there's so much money involved that maybe a prenup is actually functionally necessary. I myself don't have experience with, say, billions of dollars. My clients, most of them have somewhere around $100 million or less, maybe a little bit more. But I have never worked in the context of billions of dollars. So I'm not going to criticize people who have prenups and deal with billions of dollars. But if you have a trust and you're not dealing with billions of dollars, then it avoids, I think, the necessity for a prenup. Because talking about a prenup at the time of marriage is something which can be, it communicates intent. It is also a very difficult thing to communicate. Even if your son or your daughter gets you or an advisor or someone independent to talk to the potential spouse about the prenup, it can still leave a bad taste. It can impact the young marriage, and depending on how, whether that person, the spouse, the potential spouse, has experience with money, has experience of the issues, their parents, whether their parents have experience with those issues. If they don't, then something like a prenup will be a shock to their system. I've spoken to many owner managers, entrepreneurs who have just come into 10, 15, 20 million. They have girlfriends or boyfriends. They begin to talk to them about things surrounding, because the parents or other family members begin to get involved. And it can be difficult navigating, moving from not that type of wealth to that type of accumulated wealth. Not everyone is able to navigate it. And so very simply, by having a trust for this type of wealth, not only gives time, it gives the ability to avoid destroying relationships. Because, you know, if I just said earlier, I don't have any experience of dealing with billions of dollars. That's just my life. That doesn't make me a bad person or a stupid person. It's just not in my life experience. And so, therefore, I see prenups as somewhat transactional. They can communicate the wrong intent. Some people would agree with me, some won't. But of course, you care about your children, your son or your daughter, and you don't want them to undermine, because there may be real love there, but sometimes principle and communication does undermine love and relationships. And so you as a parent, you don't want to be the cause of that. So by having a trust, because you can even have a trust that your children don't even know about, right? And so you've taken care of them, but you've removed money from out of the picture. So we're not getting into in these videos the technicalities of how to set up a trust or which trust to set up and the taxation of a trust and all these types of things. It's about the family dynamics behind it. Communication, you're dealing with human beings, with people, real people, and your son and daughter will go out there. We've all seen movies of where wealthy people come together with people who are not wealthy, who just simply don't have experience of the issues. They don't know. When two wealthy people who come from wealthy families get together, they may be third or fourth generation of having money. The parents understand these things. They talked to them about it years ago. And so for both people, a prenup is absolutely fine because they're new. So there are all types of possibilities, but a trust can really help you take care of your children and preserve their love life, because, you know, falling in love is not guaranteed to any of us in this world. Okay? All right. That's it for now. Thank you.